what's your hype level on Pokemon Sword and Shield? Are you interested in it?
It's different, right? It's supposed to be
3D. Yeah. It's on Switch. It's going to look better. I mean, you're going to try it, so...
Yeah. It's like what's the other... I mean, there hasn't been like a real... Well, I guess the last Pokemon game that came out, but...
Yeah.
I think it's the first one on Switch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty much the biggest reason why I'm interested in it, is because it's going to be like a console game, better graphics, all those Pokemon imagined in better, modern graphics and shit. So
taking over the handheld scene and the phone scene.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a console game. I haven't been a real fan of Pokemon in a very long time.
Dude, yeah, me neither. I'm like, I always appreciate it. My nostalgia for it's there, but I'm not in love with it anymore. So I'm hoping this will change that, because I always see the potential there. I love the idea of leveling individual Pokemon and evolving them and all that shit. So. I said those two live here. They don't leave this area. This is the yard, and there's like a fucking underground like electricity field for them to fucking, their shock collars go off.
Yeah.
If they leave. Like, come over here, Cloud. Come over here. And he's like wagging his fucking tail. I'm like, come on. And he's like, no.
Crash Team Racing down there.
All right, well, that's that for the South Hall. Gonna go check out the, what is it, West Hall? See if we missed anything. Make our rounds, and then say goodbye to E3. on, guys? Seth and Cody here, closing out our E3 2019 coverage. Third day in the books, and that is the end of E3. We're going to kind of close out with our experience of that third day, what we played, and overall what we thought of it. As you can see, the environment, the background has changed quite a bit. We're actually on our way home. We had to get up early and bail on our Airbnb, and here we are. So we're filming here. But yeah, so third day of E3, which is the longest day of E3, starts at 9, ends at 6, was a long fucking day. And I definitely was feeling it that day. My feet were fucking pissed. My brain was fucking gone. I kind of don't remember everything from that day. It's been a very busy week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I got up early. I wanted to take full advantage of the whole time, even though it felt fucking like a long time. And yeah, I got there early. I went in, made sure to get my hands on Final Fantasy 14 Shadowbringers. For anyone who doesn't know, Final Fantasy 14 is an MMO. Shadowbringers is an expansion coming out for it soon. Pretty much how they have it set up when you go in there is there's a bunch of computers lined up, and you get into teams of 8. And then you have to try and beat a boss, Titania, which is actually a pretty neat fight. As soon as I got in there, it was the first game I played, I'm with a bunch of people, and 2 people to my right, who are going to be on my team, they're like kind of making fun of the idea of like people strategizing, working together, because the guys to my left, 3 of them, they're like, okay, do you guys play this game? And they asked me, like, do you play it? I'm like, dude, I do kind of off and on. He's like, what do you play? I'm like, monk. And he's like, okay, so just be DPS. I'm like, okay, I can do that. And like they're doing that, and the chick next to me and the guy next to her that's with her, they're like fucking strategizing and stuff. And the big thing here too is if you beat Titania, you got a shirt that said I beat Titania, which is kind of cool that there was like a reward for beating the boss. So as soon as I heard her say that, and then making a joke about these guys, like, you know, trying to essentially win, because I knew this wasn't going to be easy, I was like, we're not going to do this.
Yeah,
we're fucked.
Yeah.
And then finally, one of the guys who was kind of running the thing, he came up, he's like, all right, he's like, you guys got 5 minutes to strategize, figure stuff out, and then we're going to get you in there. You guys are going to be able to pick a class, and then you're going to go. He's like, so figure out all of your roles, all your classes, all that shit. And then they started asking that chick and that dude, and they're like, I don't know. I don't play these kind of games. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you fucking doing here? I mean, I guess they're trying out a game, I guess. But yeah, so we went up there. We all were like lined up, 8 of us, getting ready to do this fight. They gave us another 5 minutes to strategize, get our classes set up, move our macros around, which was kind of cool. I picked monk, a bunch of people picked stuff, but after a while, they're like, okay, you guys need, I think, 2 healers. Anyone who plays Final Fantasy 14, if I say the wrong thing, realize I don't play it that often, so correct me in the comments below nicely. But yeah, he was like, you need 2 healers. If you don't have 2 healers, we can't start. And fuck, he's like, who's gonna do it? And everybody's just looking at each other, and she's like, I will. I'm like, fuck, not you.
Yeah.
Like, be DPS.
Yeah.
But eventually we got everybody into the roles or whatever, and yeah, it was never going to happen. We got to try it, I think, 4 or 5 times, and we wiped every single time. I think the best we did was about almost 1/4 of her health we took off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was pretty fucking bad. But even though we didn't have a chance on winning that at all, it was a good effort. I even fucking put in the chat GG at the end, so I was like, we're fucked. But I liked it. I'm kind of behind on like the expansions when it comes to Final Fantasy 14, so to be able to play that, look at like the newer graphics, the new design of bosses, Titania's really cool looking. The mechanics are really interesting. I don't want to go into it too far because some of you might not want spoilers. There's like a part where like you'll see these like purple triangles surrounding her, and in the direction they're pointing, you have to go between them because vines start growing out of her, and if you're in the vines, they'll start killing you. There's also some mechanics that are really kind of fucked up that like you're gonna blow up at some point, so if you kind of stack together, it's gonna do extra damage to everybody, and everybody will just wipe instantly.
Wow.
Yeah, we died like instantly at one point. And it's cool too because the guy, while he's watching us, because every group of people had a supervisor kind of guy, he's like, stay out of the circle. He's like yelling at us the whole time. He's like, all right, you do not want to be in the circle. And he's like, all right, everybody to the center. If you're not in the center, you're gonna die. And we're just like fucking running around. But overall, it was pretty neat. It's kind of weird playing like a mouse and keyboard MMO. You know, in the convention, most of the games are on PS4 controllers, Xbox controllers. But overall, it was really neat. I really wanted that fucking shirt, but it just was never gonna happen. You like if you went with like some people you knew, or you just luckily got into a group of fucking 7 other people who play the game regularly, I think you'd have a really good chance.
Oh, for sure.
Really good chance. But even having 1 to 2 people who don't play the game, let alone like the 4 that were with us that don't play, I was like, there's no fucking way. It would be a fluke if we got it. So, but yeah, overall, really cool. Any of you guys out there waiting for Shadowbringers to come out, I'm actually kind of hyped on it myself, and I don't really play the game that often. I saw cool things. It looks very cool, and I'm really excited for it. So you should be as well. I know you are. You need to check that.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Yeah. So then after that, fucking, of course, we made our way over to the bang area. Got our bangs. You met up with me. We luckily. We're just kind of wandering around the Bethesda area, and we somehow got an appointment to play Wolfenstein Youngblood. We kind of had given up on the Bethesda id section because all their games were reservation based, and they went fast. They have a weird system for anybody who didn't watch the prior episodes where
and it's literally a desk and a computer, like you were checking in at a hotel.
And they would text you your name and like a beeper and let you know when your appointment's coming up. It's like, make sure to check in. It was very official, which I kind of hated.
And they handed out. I mean, that was a weird thing. I think Bethesda had like this really weird. It was all about friendship, which was the whole thing, or like us plus you, or you plus Bethesda, blah blah blah. So they handed out these like bracelets that were like friendship bracelets that said Bethesda plus you, or
be together.
Yeah, be together.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Bethesda be together.
And I'm like, it was weird.
They're very not together with the community.
That you can tell that they were trying very very hard. Which I still love Bethesda, but it's just a weird thing.
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, but luckily we had gotten reservations. And if you don't make the reservation, they will allow up to 6 people to stand around every hour. And if people don't make the reservation, they'll let them in. So yeah, after that, we're like, okay, let's go check out some other shit. We kind of ran around. What else did we fucking play? At one point, we got in the line for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which is the action RPG coming out. That's kind of neat. We waited in that line for about an hour and a half. Our appointment came up while we're waiting in line, so to make sure we got good coverage across the board, I went to Wolfenstein Youngblood. You stayed in the line. So from what I saw, standing in the line, it looks like it's a third-person action RPG. Looks like there's a lot of kind of the flying elements you'd assume from Dragon Ball Z, but there's also like leveling up and shit. So what was your overall experience?
It was good. It was fun to play, but it was just like you go into the line leading up into it, basically you get into this big display which looks like a capsule core, and you basically it's like instructions in the game. And the thing that irks me right off the bat was the fact that it's basically rehashing. It's like literally telling the same story again. The cool thing about it is Goku, because you start out as like basically the Raditz. That's like the first. I'm pretty sure that's how the actual game is going to start. But that was the start of the demo. But you interact with people that Kid Goku interacted with in Dragon Ball, so that's kind of neat. But for the most part, it was the same thing. And then there was a weird thing where it has the illusion that it's an open world RPG, but it's not. It's very, that you can just go to. There's like a world map that you can go to. This was only basically, gosh, I forgot the name, but basically where like the dinosaurs roam around and stuff like that.
Yeah, I saw in the video someone flying and shooting a dinosaur.
Yeah, and so it was basically a lot of that. Like kind of just like after waiting in line for like an hour and a half, I'm just like, I just want to play it. And I actually messed around a little bit, but you basically just fight these like the Frieza minion guys. You fight them, and then you take on
like the Cybermen?
Well, no, not those guys, but they're like they almost look like, well, they have like the long necks. They almost look like xenomorphs.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't know the name. but you fight those guys. Basically, you level up, and it's really fun because you start out on the Nimbus cloud and you fly around, but then you can actually jump off of it and fly around yourself.
Yeah.
And Piccolo was your character, or Piccolo was like your NPC, like your helper, CPU character.
Yeah, so I'm flying around with Goku.
Yeah. And
somebody's playing.
Yeah, and it was fun, and it played really, really well. But I literally I was just kind of like mashing buttons and stuff, and kind of I was doing the moves. Kamehameha is all there, all the other moves are all there, but it was just but I got like an A. Like they rank you at the end of the bosses, whatever Reddits, and it was just literally A across the board. So
nice.
There wasn't really any strategy there, but
okay.
But that's not even the final game. Like it really, it's
for sure.
not. Yeah, so there's a lot more to it. And they gave out these little keychains, which were like little, like it was like a Dragon Ball radar.
Yeah.
That lights up and stuff.
I was gonna ask you about the swag.
The swag, yeah.
So what happens when we waited in line? There was a ramp you had to go up, and it went up into the Capsule Corp thing. What happens in there?
But basically, it's like a demo, and they tell you the story, and they
okay.
Not a demo. It's like a tutorial,
like a presentation.
Yeah.
It sounds similar to like Final Fantasy VII's thing.
Yep.
Stuff like that. That's cool. That game is something I'm kind of interested in.
But you can only play Goku.
Yeah.
It's just Goku.
Well, it is called Kakarot, so kind of makes sense
exactly.
Playing
so it's just the same story over again.
It kind of seems cool though, just because we have obviously gotten that story a million times over and over again, and how amazing is it that they have a product they can sell to people over and over again with the same story.
People will buy it.
But
100%.
We haven't really gotten a 3D RPG yet of that story, so I'm kind of mixed on it. But I agree with you 100%. It's funny that you already know the story, so you got to be most likely a diehard fan.
I bet you the Frieza fight would be sweet because it literally takes that's the one thing they said, that they're gonna stick very true to the story. So all the fights are gonna be all the cinematics are gonna be the same from the show and stuff like that. So everything's gonna be to a T, and it looks really, really good.
It did look really good graphically. Anything else on that?
That's it.
So while you played that, I went
off.
off.
Bandai Namco needs to get their shit together when it comes to freaking lines and stuff like that.
The line of that was really ridiculous
for that game. But I think it mostly was for people to get those, because I heard everybody being like, "Oh, I gotta get one of those Dragon Ball radar."
Yeah, I wanted one, but I just wanted to make that appointment.
Sure.
I wouldn't want to waste that. But Bandai Namco had a pretty good showing overall. It seemed like a lot of really cool games. So I didn't get to play Tsum, but I think I'll live. Little fucking bean babies. So while you're there, I went and I got to my appointment where they're like, all right, this is a cooperative experience, so you're going to need a buddy. I'm like, well, what if he doesn't show up? And they're like, we're going to have to put you with someone else, but you're going to have to find somebody. I'm like, okay, just find someone for me then, because he's not here. So I waited. I listened to some voice actor chick talk about working in the business. She was just in line with us for 20 minutes. I don't remember her name though, but she's done a bunch of indie games, I guess, which is kind of interesting to listen to. And eventually they found me someone. We went, we sat down. They had Xbox One controllers and mouse and keyboard. Of course, I picked mouse and keyboard for a game like this, and it's pretty much as Wolfenstein. It looked better, obviously, because it's a newer game and it's on PC. It played really well. It's very, very fast-paced, which is not a big surprise. You play as two characters cooperatively. We had an issue in the beginning where he was watching the cinematic and my game was unsynced from it. And then after he was done with it, I was able to connect. So that was kind of a not cool scenario or situation. Also, the guy I played with had a very, very thick accent. Very nice guy, but it was really kind of hard to communicate with him. And overall, I liked it a lot. I'm pretty sure I'm going to pick it up when it comes out. It's very cooperative oriented. The game is meant for co-op. Obviously, you're running around shooting shit together, but also everything you do in the game needs two people to do it. So if you're opening a door, you need two of you to rip it open or pull it up. There's certain boxes for health and shit that you need two people to initiate opening them, which I think is kind of cool because it makes you have to coordinate and work together and stuff. A lot of the maps have a lot of flanking points, so it's kind of one person's going to be there while the other person's doing this. There's also a really big stealth emphasis in this Wolfenstein. There's I think each character has different moves, but the character I was playing had like a stealth suit, so I could go invisible.
Okay.
And you could like stab people from behind and shit, throwing knives, stuff like that. And the other person, I think had like a speed boost or something too. But pretty much overall, it's exactly what you would assume a Wolfenstein nowadays would be, except for, you know, co-op centric. So this is a game I'll definitely be picking up. I enjoyed it. And aside from, you know, the bug I had in the beginning and having to carry that guy I played with because he went down like 6 times, it was fun. I liked it a lot, and I'll be picking it up. It'll be fun to play with somebody. Although I can really tell, you know, if you're a single player type person, I'm sure it'll have that option. But it's definitely designed for that co-op. So yeah, played that. I don't think I got anything for that one though.
That's what I was about to ask you. You got any swag?
Yeah, no, they kicked us the fuck out too. They're like, oh, I'm sorry, but you guys need to get up and leave. And we're just like, okay, like I can do that. But yeah, cool game. We split off for a little bit, kind of did our own thing for a little bit. I was getting tired, so I like went over and checked out Elder Scrolls Online Elsewhere, or wherever the fuck, their new expansion. I'm so out of the loop. I have no idea what this is going to be offering, what's new or whatever. In fact, when I walked up, there's like 2 people out of like 8 booths playing the game, and the guy who was like running the whole thing was just sitting there on his phone. He like looked up, he's like, what's up? I'm like, oh, I was just looking at the game. He's like, you want to play it? I'm like, sure. So like I walked over, sat down, and he's like, have you ever played Elder Scrolls Online? I'm like, yeah, dude, like when it launched. And he's like, oh, so it's been a long time. I'm like, yeah, pretty much. He's like, well, feel free to try it out. I was like, okay. So I started playing it, and you know, I still have no idea what's new in the game, what that expansion's doing, blah blah blah. But it kind of reminded me that, you know, Elder Scrolls Online isn't too bad. I played it a while back, and then I lost my account somehow. But I liked it enough then. I wasn't in love with it, but it was fine. But playing it again, I was like, I think I could maybe play this still. Yeah. It's not bad. It's not a bad MMO. It's not like amazing, but it's not shit. So maybe I'll check it out. But yeah, I played that for a little bit, almost like unlimited. He wasn't even like timing me or anything. I was just playing it. Eventually, people started like lining up behind me, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna get my fucking ass out of here. And then I got
it's like a coin.
Like a coin, yeah, which is like really hefty. Yeah. Like it's like a legit coin. So that's kind of cool. We met back up. We went to the other hall. We checked out more Nintendo shit. We waited in a long ass line. We didn't play as much games as the day before because we were waiting in some really big lines that day.
Well, the one person,
Kakarot. Yeah, Sword and Shield, that took over an hour. The Kakarot line took over an hour. But we played Sword and Shield. The way they had that set up was you essentially line up and you go into this arena. Everybody's dressed up like kind of like Pokemon, like referee, trainer type people, and you get walked over to a booth. All the Nintendo games have like a supervisor who talks you through it and like will make sure you don't fail. They'll like tell you how to do everything and how you can't fuck up. But the chick I was talking to, though, I'm pretty sure she was high because she was just kind of like asking me where I was from and how it is up in Washington and shit. I'm like, okay, I'm gotta continue playing this. But it's kind of set up like a dungeon. You start at one point, you have to do some simple puzzles, like turning off and on water areas to get through. As you go, you have to fight these trainers. It showcased about 8 different Pokemon in your inventory you fought against these trainers with, and then you got to fuck around with the Dynamax mode, which is fucking crazy. Yeah. There's this like Welsh Corgi looking Pokemon, I forgot its name. I Dynamaxed the fuck out of that thing. It's just a giant fucking puppy. Yeah. That was dope as hell. I got to fuck around with Grookey, my boy Grookey. He was dope as shit. And overall, the game looks great. Played awesome. And I could definitely see myself playing this. So I left stoked. I mean, it was awesome. Yeah. And then I got some swag. We got those 3 pins, metal pins that it was Grookey.
The 3 starting Pokemon.
Yep. I just want to say Grookey again because that's my boy. What were your impressions of it?
It was fun. It was really fun. They definitely trying to hold your hand the whole time.
I appreciate that because I get like Nintendo's like, okay, we're a family company, so we want to make sure everybody feels comfortable. Yeah, but it almost made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I was like, I'm trying to play this game.
Well, the one guy was like, I had 2 guys, like, obviously it was like a shift change, and the one guy was like, really, really nice about it, but he was just kind of like, just had a lot of information. Then the other guy that came in, I asked him a question. He's like, "Your guess is as good as mine." I'm like, "Okay."
He doesn't even fucking know.
He has no idea. I'm like, and he's just like, "This might not even be in the game." And I'm like, "What? Okay, well, whatever." So
okay, real quick though, just explain real fast the dude that you were standing with doing the fucking where you're in the arena.
Oh man, there's this guy who's dressed up as like I don't watch it, but some guy from Tokyo Ghoul who's basically is like lurching over us the whole time.
Yeah, we were in line for over an hour. This guy's just behind us with a fucking mask on, silent the whole time.
And those kind of, you know what I mean? Like, we're both like 30 years old, and it's just kind of like we nerd out about stuff, but you see like people's true nerd colors when you go to events like this.
Yeah.
And
which is nothing wrong with that, but it's so funny sometimes.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like just a different crowd. And it's really sweet that people can get, you know what I mean? And then it's like no one's being a dick because it's like you get it, you know what I mean? And this dude who's behind us, who's seemed like he was a little bit on the spectrum, but like there's nothing wrong with that. Just a really nice guy.
Sure.
And he came up and we got in the arena, and he was really excited to be in the Pokemon arena. Like the people who worked there were just like trying to pump everybody up, and I was like joking around, like dancing. I'm like, yeah, blah blah blah. And he gets in there and he's just like, we're in the Pokemon arena, and he's like looking around. He's like, look at all these people, and he's like pointing to like the wall decoration, which is like a bunch, like you're in an arena.
It looked like you're in an arena, yeah. On the walls, it looked like a bunch of people like watching.
And so he was just like getting really excited, but then I just
look at all the people.
Look at all the people. We're in the Pokemon arena, and they do. I mean, I'm sure they do with like a lot of like weird people and kind of like a little bit off.
Fuck yeah.
And they do a great job because they're all the people that they get for the Nintendo side or for that hall, Sega Nintendo, were like the friendliest people. Like they're so uppity and just really nice. Like in the Bethesda Gearbox, like all those ones,
dickheads, dude.
Every single person, there was at least one person who was kind of an asshole. I mean, the people
Final
were
Fantasy
kind of assholes too, but
some of those people were being paid to be assholes, and some of them were just assholes.
Yeah, 100%. So it was just like, but they hire from the outside area. These are people that are flown in that are helping the company, so it's like they don't know.
Yeah, they're not trained in
they don't know what the hell these things are. Yeah. I mean, some people are into the games. I mean, we had one guy, one of the security guards we passed through was asking about Cyberpunk. He just wanted to know about Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
You guys see Cyberpunk? And we're just like, yeah. We told him all about it, and he was like, sweet. Yeah. He was all excited about it.
Yeah, that happened a couple times. People would ask us about, because like you'd expect to be working there seeing some shit, but they're there to work.
Oh yeah.
So they're like, what happened? And we're like telling him. He's like, oh shit.
Because I asked him too. I was like, do you guys get to go in and see it? And they're just like, no. I'm like, damn, that sucks.
No, we're mere plebs. Yeah. Mere peasants.
So, but yeah, it was.
It's really interesting how every section. Because eventually, for you guys wondering about the Xbox thing, we did find it finally, but we found it pretty late in the show. But it seemed like every section had its own type of people too.
Oh yeah.
Nintendo definitely has its crowd. Of course, there's other people, blah blah blah, people like us and shit. But then when we went to Xbox, it was a whole new fucking world.
Yeah.
Whole different atmosphere.
Basically where they had their conference, that's where it was.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in a sec. But overall, Pokemon was cool. Really into it. I will most likely be picking it up. The combat is, essentially what you would expect from a Pokemon game, except for it looks way better. The Dynamax mode pretty much feels like just an excuse to like have like Godzilla type fucking spectacle going on.
Oh yeah.
They start doing like superpowers and shit. And even if you get defeated by the other Dynamax Pokemon, now your normal Pokemon have to fight that giant Pokemon. So that was kind of interesting. And it was cool. Did we play anything else outside of Xbox? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we wandered around trying to find other things that we could potentially play, but we kind of were saying, goodbye to E3 at that point, and then we're like, we gotta find this fucking Xbox thing, man, because we keep seeing people with Xbox shit on, walking through the convention center stuff, and it's really interesting. So, Xbox had the Xbox experience during E3. They talk about E3. It's all an event, just like Nintendo Direct is not technically at E3, but it's part of E3. They had their own thing in a separate building, and it's not on any of the maps in the convention center. It's not on any of that shit. So you just have to like go to
When
it.
we went there was definitely people that didn't know Missouri.
Yeah.
Like there were definitely people that were just like, what? Like kind of just you could tell that they were coming in for the first time.
Yeah, why? And that's what was us too.
Yeah.
And so we walk over there. There's a big building covered in fucking green, all Xbox shit, and we're like, oh fuck, there is something here. We start going in there. It's a big ass building, and you got to go through metal detectors and shit. As soon as you go in there, it's just like storefront. There's just like shit to buy everywhere. There was no Cyberpunk shit left, which really sucks. I walked up to the dude, and he handed me a fucking like a menu of the shit that they're selling.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, I just looked at it for a split second. I'm like, do you have Cyberpunk stuff still? He's like, no, dude. I'm like, all right. And I just gave it back to him. And then, yeah, you walk down this dark-ass hall, and as you're going down there, you just see all these green fucking neon lights at the end. It's just this huge fucking spectacle. You walk out, and it comes out to the arena where the E3 presentation happened, where they did the Xbox presentation. They reconfigured the stage to be essentially their own E3. All their games are set up on the stage at that point. They're in the back. They got this whole, like, almost like arcade-ass atmosphere. There's like a shitload of units everywhere, and there's just people up on the stage. There was a giant stage in the crowd where there was some kind of probably Xbox-type show up there. They had people with microphone stuff talking up there. We tried to walk on the stage, and they're like, oh, no, you got to get in line to be on stage. So we're like, okay. We went and sat down in line for a little bit. They had some people playing the new Gears out on the floor, which looked cool. And while we're sitting there too, some guy kept coming up and asking people if they wanted to be on like some show where you could ask them about their favorite games to play during Halloween and Christmas. So they're obviously doing something for the future. And we're sitting there and it's just neon lights and people all over that fucking stage just playing shit. We go up there finally, and they got a bunch of games. They had Forza Horizon 4 going on. They had a Lego. What kind of car was it?
Like a Lamborghini, I think.
Yeah, it's like a Lamborghini or some shit. And some kind of fancy fast car. Made of Legos. It was very fucking cool. And first off, too, that arena was huge and just full of green lights. It's really cool looking.
Oh, yeah.
They had Gears up there. They had Sea of Thieves.
Age of Empires 2.
Age of Empires 2, which I thought was really interesting that they had that up there. Battletoads is up there. Battletoads is up there. And for some reason, okay, so when I was talking earlier about like different demographics, different communities, the Xbox community, way different than everywhere else, because there was people just go like, Battletoads!
They look like they worked there, or they like
Battletoads!
That they were like, I don't know if they were developers. Maybe they were. I don't know.
Fuck,
They
those
just
guys
seemed
were like less than 20, man. They were young.
Yeah, I know, but maybe there's something about them that they were just they definitely weren't just because they had the white badges too. So I didn't really look at it, but
They
were
yelled that for like fucking over an hour, randomly.
And this lady kept trying to get, because we were waiting in line for Battletoads, and then the lady kept trying to get people to go in there. Anybody for Age of Empires 2? And like 3 people would go in there.
Yeah, and their atmosphere is different because everywhere else you go up to, the line and they fucking go, can't see it here, or the fucking, they're like, all right, get in line. But this chick was like running around asking everyone, trying to accommodate them, which I thought was kind of nice, but she looked busy as fuck. She was like running around going, okay, we only have like 2 hours left, so
fire marshal,
where do you want to go? Where do you want to go?
Yeah. What is happening?
Yeah, it's like this whole fucking thing. They also had a display for xCloud, which was kind of cool. They had all the games you'd expect there. They had, what was that new 4v4 game? I forgot the name.
Oh, man.
There's people playing that. That looked pretty fun. People look like they're having a fucking blast playing it. That was the one thing about the Xbox community, though, that was different, is like everyone there was having a blast.
They were.
People were just like yelling and playing Sea of Thieves and fucking like there was Diet Coke and waters everywhere, but like, it looked like it was just like a chill sesh.
For sure.
Like you just got on, once you got on stage, you're just hanging out.
It was kind of cool feel than the rest of the building.
Yeah. You ended up going and kind of looking around and stuff. I stuck around to play Battletoads because it was a game that was new and I wanted to play something I hadn't played already. Wait in line for like a fucking hour. Took a while.
I said I was done with that.
Yeah. Also kind of cool. They have like, it's almost like a passport. It's a Game Pass passport thing you get when you go into the Xbox experience. And for every game you play, they put a stamp in your passport, and every 3 you get a little ticket. When you scratch it, it will most likely give you 1 month of Xbox Pass Ultimate, whatever the fuck. I forgot the name of it. I apologize, Xbox fans. Yeah, it gives you 1 month of it for free. The Ultimate version that has like Xbox Live, Game Pass, all that shit all together. So I have a month of that, which is really cool. And
I didn't even have my passport. I lost it in the transfer, getting in the security, and the guy was like, "Oh, we'll just give it to you anyway." And he just gave me one. So
he said like if I could answer the question, he would just hook us up anyway. And because it was getting close to the end of the show anyway, so we ended up getting those. The guy was just like, "I'm gonna ask you trivia," and I was like, "Oh fuck." I was just put on the spot. He's like, "What's the code name for the Xbox 360?" And my first instinct was like, Scorpio. I was like, Scorpio. He's like, "No, that's the 360 or the 360, the Xbox One." I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, you're right." And he's like, "It's a Dodge vehicle." It's like Durango. Like as soon as he said that, I remember it was Durango. And then he just hooked us up with those things. So that was really cool. I ended up playing Battletoads, and again, we ran all sorts of different people running the show and lines, stuff like that. My experience with the Xbox stuff was actually really friendly. The guy was just like, because I was on my own in the line, he's like, "Are you by yourself or with a group?" I'm like, "By myself." He's like, "All right, come over here and try this game out." Came over and we played with someone who worked for Xbox, showcasing the game with us. He was like, had a headset on like the rest of us. 2 other people with me. We were playing 3-player, and he was just kind of explaining stuff to us. And it was like more of a relaxed, fun time playing that game than like kind of official. We had a certain amount of lives to get through the game, and we went through the first level. Kind of reminded me of like Streets of Rage. Obviously, it's Battletoads, so it's like the original Battletoads, but the level design was like a city, so it reminded me of Streets of Rage. It's very animated, but it looks really good. But like it's very cartoony. All your specials, you like transform into like some huge thing and do a crazy move. My guy was playing, he would transform into a robot and he would shoot lasers out of his eyes and hit everybody. It was really neat. And then anybody who's played Battletoads before knows that fucking goddamn, I don't know if it's the second or third level, but that fucking sideways vehicle level where you're driving and you gotta hit the jumps and fly over all the fucking walls. Yeah, and then there's the walls you gotta dodge and shit. That shit's infamous. They had something like that you got to play in the demo, and it was actually really fun. It was in a third-person perspective, but it was flat, obviously, because it's a 2D game. But you're going forward, and you had all 3 of you are driving around, moving left and right, and you're jumping over stuff, going off jumps, and there's walls, and we were like jumping around, bouncing off stuff, and like fucking there's a dodge button so you can boost to the left and right. And as long as one person was alive, there was a chance for respawns. So we were all like trying to keep each other alive and shit while we're fucking flying down this thing. It was very difficult but very fun, and there's checkpoints too. So there's like this like feeling of like teamwork. We're like fuck. Someone like 2 of us would die, and we'd be like stay alive, and there's like doing their best to stay alive, and then they would fly off, and as they're flying off, one of us would respawn, then they would die. And it was like ridiculous, but it was a fucking blast. So it's definitely a game I wanna play when it comes out. Actually, had a lot more fun with it than I thought. Yeah, we didn't really get to play much because we got there late and the lines were like an hour and a half a piece. But we got to walk around, look at it. They had a really cool setup, a lot of cool games there. I wanted to play a 4v4 game. I forgot it's like it got blood in the title or something like that. Yeah, they had Sea of Thieves going on, a bunch of shit. But overall, it was really cool. I liked it there. I wish we could have got. We're E3 noobs. This is our first E3 ever, so we dove in and tried to figure the shit out.
They give you, the app was really cool and it helped a lot, but it doesn't say shit about any of the lines. It doesn't tell you where to line up.
There's barely any info. Yeah. It's learn as you go.
It literally, but once you figured it out, like by day 2 we figured it out. That's why we got to play so much shit.
Yeah.
And
the first day was discouraging.
Yeah, and it was just like, if I'm glad that they opened it up to people like that, but it's definitely new, and they have a lot of work to do before it's like legitimate. I still had fun overall. It was awesome. But just the lines are just crazy. Like it's just not meant for the public. It really is not.
When you brought up a good point, and I pretty much think the exact same thing, but you're saying that essentially like, this is for like the diehards. Like this
100%.
isn't like come have fun. We're not. It's not the arcade. You're not the arcade. You're there for gaming info. You're essentially playing press. Like you're there hearing about all the information and getting educated on these new games coming out. You do get to play them, but it's more so about learning about them and relaying that info to other people. And so, if you're just looking to play some games, you're going to be waiting a long time to play like for 10 minutes.
It's such a great experience. I mean, not only that, but we're in downtown Los Angeles and you see famous people everywhere. Yep. That's crazy. We both saw Floyd Mayweather and he was just like giddy as all hell, talking about gaming and stuff like that.
He's like 5 feet from us.
And you forget that it's just like, you know what I mean? You would expect, there was a couple people, like when we played, there was a basketball player and I could not remember his name, but this dude was like 7 foot something, standing in front of me playing, like across from me, playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. It was crazy. People were trying to film him and they're like, no film it, blah, blah, blah. So it was like it's just, I don't know, it's such a crazy experience, and it's just, I mean, so much free shit that they give you.
Oh yeah.
By the end of it, they're just handing out Borderlands maps, you know what I mean? But
they got all that shit they gotta get rid of, so.
Gearbox went hard.
Yeah.
They definitely did.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw Dr. Disrespect the first day on his infamous first and last in real life fucking stream. I'm sure some of you already heard, but he was filming his stream inside the bathroom, and that's illegal in California. So, and probably most places, but specifically there. So he got into some pretty big trouble, and I'm sure it's gotten resolved by now. But yeah, we saw him before that happened, which is kind of crazy. And we saw a bunch of people.
Saw Hannibal Buress walk by.
Hannibal Buress.
Just there's like one hallway that connects the buildings to each other, and or with like Bethesda and Cyberpunk and everybody, and all that stuff work. You have to walk across this giant hallway to get to the Nintendo Sega area and stuff like that. And that was like where we saw most of the people. I mean, it was just like kind of just like walking past each other. So it was just crazy.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a really fun but like hectic and fast-paced experience.
Yeah.
You gotta get going and know what you're gonna do, and then go do it and commit. Anytime you're wasting is time that you may not get a ticket reservation or a spot in the line. But
there's a couple times where we had to make a decision whether like you were gonna go play Kakarot or whatever. So it's just time. They give you what, like 7 hours or 6 hours, or 6 hours, and whatever, 8 hours to do it, and you're waiting in line for each thing at least an hour.
Yeah, so, but like you were saying too, like it's for like the dedicated diehard hardcore whatever. I would consider myself that, and I think we had fun. I had a fucking blast. It was kind of surreal for me because I've watched E3 like all of you guys my whole life, and I've always loved E3. It's always a big spectacle for me. So this year being able to go was so fucking cool. It was awesome. Even with some of the shit that kind of sucked for a second, the overall experience was awesome. Absolutely worth it. I definitely want to try and go next year. I'm already kind of thinking about it. The dates for next year are the 9th through the 11th. This time it was 11th through the 13th. Next year will be the 9th through the 11th. So I might be pre-planning that already. And I think I will go with higher end badges this time too. I need to look into that. Because I would like more access. That'd be fucking cool. But overall, I loved it. It was awesome. It's what I wanted. And next year is going to be fucking huge with the new consoles. And Cyberpunk. So even, again, before we close out, what was the best and worst of E3 for you?
Probably, honestly, like playing Iceborne was really sweet. I really liked the whole first of all, Cyberpunk and the remake. Yeah. Like the hype just to get in there, and it wasn't even like you don't even get to touch the game. You're just watching someone play the game, and it was still awesome. I mean, that was like sweaty. The air conditioning went off. It was the first day, and you can just tell that everybody is tired, but you're still so hyped about it, and cool ass visor, and it's just cool to just hear about it. You were there when they were there last year.
It's also funny to go in that room, that sweaty ass room, and watch a game be played in front of you, and then you come out, you let people know what you saw, and people are acting like fucking Kaneda, whatever the fuck his name is from Sunshine. or what's his nuts, Sunshine, when he's burning up, he's like, what do you see?
Yep.
Like fucking after that, we're like, what'd you see? Tell me.
Yeah.
So I mean, even outside of E3, the hype is fucking crazy for it, but inside the convention center, man, like that was the talk of fucking E3.
Yep.
Final Fantasy 7, of course, but Cyberpunk, every line you read, everyone was talking about it. Everyone was trying to get into it. Everybody's trying to get that fucking visor. But yeah, I mean,
the second would be Final Fantasy 7 remake. I mean, that just to get to play it was just it was just so sweet. Like it really was fun. And you know what I mean? Some of the build, you know, the whole thing was supposed to reenact like you getting on a train, and it was kind of like gimmicky a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was just like, once you get into it, you start like, you know, they do the whole theatrical thing with the monitors and all that kind of stuff. You kind of like forget about like where you are. And then playing it was just awesome. I mean, it really is exactly what I hoped it would be. And
I agree.
The worst, I mean, even like the Luigi's Mansion thing was really cool, but there wasn't really anything bad. I mean, honestly, even though I'm a huge fan, the Bethesda area was like pretty much the worst.
Okay.
And
I agree.
And you know what I mean? Like they had like they had a big area, which was cool.
Yep.
But it feels like
cool.
Most of the effort was like put into the merch stuff, and then it was displays, which was cool. Like I'd love to see that.
Oh, there's some really cool shit.
And but it was all about like the mobile. You know what I mean? They had like weird like the blades and stuff like that, which was like you can play right now. But
that was lame. That was just an advertisement. I mean, it's all advertising, but that was like, this game's out on your phone right now. We have a whole display for that.
Yeah, just taking up room, and it was just even Borderlands 3 was sick.
Borderlands 3 was fucking sick. I'm so glad I can confidently say that game is awesome.
Yeah.
I just hope the storyline will be good, but gameplay-wise, they fucking nailed it. I'm fucking pumped to play that game. Completely everything I wanted and more. I'm pretty much on the exact same page. My favorite thing about all of E3 from being on the floor, I'll be doing a stream soon where I'm going to go through and talk about the presentations and stuff, because I need to watch them completely anyway. I've been busy, obviously, but I also feel like I owe you guys, you know, some reactions to that. But, you know, being on the floor, the best of E3, in my opinion, was 100% just the event of Cyberpunk and Final Fantasy VII Remake. The hype for those two games was huge. The access to get into them and almost feeling like you achieved something getting into those things, especially Final Fantasy VII. I mean, like, the line was ridiculous for Cyberpunk, and that's the hard part of getting in there, is because it's always full and they'll tell you to come back later. But with Final Fantasy VII, when the tickets are gone, they're fucking gone. There was like actual commodity that you could most likely sell if you wanted to get into Final Fantasy VII. So if you did not get those tickets, and I was listening to people all fucking day talking about how those tickets they're gone in 15 minutes. As soon as they're available, 15 minutes later, they're gone. So you have that small window to get the fuck in line, get that ticket. If you don't, you're not playing the game. Which, you know, really added a lot of pressure to getting that fucking ticket when my second day we were running up there because everybody else was running. You can tell who knew about that and who didn't, because there's just a bunch of people running up the stairs and people like, what the fuck? We were those noobs the day before.
We got to play all the cool stuff, and it was like, but there was that chance you weren't going to get to. And I would have been really bummed out if I wouldn't have gotten
I would have felt defeated, man.
It would have sucked. So
and it was so worth
pressure.
it.
There is like, a lot, because that shit's not given to you. They really don't. You know what I mean? Like they open that shit up, and also those tickets, which you would think that they would have a separate, you know, number of tickets for different times when they open up, because the dude was telling you that shit opens up at 9. For the for like the VIP, like all those kind of people, and we got there at 12.
And he was real happy to let me know that I had a gamer pass, and good luck,
gamer, bro.
Good luck. But yeah, going back real quick though, best thing of E3 is those two things. There's so much good shit there, but the best thing were those two things. But I have to say, Final Fantasy VII is amazing and awesome, and I can't wait to pick it up and play it when it comes out. I didn't want to stop playing it, but Cyberpunk won the show for me just because of all of E3 was just a buzz with that fucking game. Every line you're in, people were talking about it. They were talking like fucking rumors and shit. People who hadn't been in there yet. We'd been in there and listened to people like speculate on what happens in there and shit. And I'm like, this is cool, man. This is such a fucking cool experience. It had so many people just fucking hyped, pumped for it. And that kind of atmosphere was just fucking intoxicating, and I loved it. So that we got to like knock that out on the first day on just a gamble is the last thing we looked at. Like fucking, it was just awesome. So definitely the best thing of E3 was Cyberpunk. I know you guys aren't gonna be surprised by that, but it's true. The worst thing of E3 for me, I would say, is two things. Two things are literally the Bethesda id section. They had great games on display. Their system sucks. Which was really discouraging. It's one of the first places we went when we went to the show, and it was a real bad first place to start. We checked out Bandai Namco. They had a great system. We got to play their games real easy. THQ Nordic, real accessible. You just walk in there and play some shit. There's a bunch of people who did it way better. I think even Nintendo did it better. The lines are big, but they would let you in. There wasn't a like, oh, come back later, asshole.
Well, and that's the thing. That's this whole thing is the whole like,
do you have an appointment?
Yeah, but it was like a whole like, oh, everything was about like, what was it? Bethesda, like the little bands that we got. Bethesda plus Be together. That was their whole thing, and it's like you're saying this, and you're also making it so to play your games you have to make appointments. Like you're not like just let people wait.
It's not very communal,
yeah. I mean, there wasn't anywhere to wait.
Too. There's like there was no one fucking hanging out either because there's no lines.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of the fun of the lines is like all these fans are all together talking and shit.
There's every line that we
fuck out of your kid
with somebody. Yeah. I mean, it was just kind of like
there's a bunch of shit that
everybody's talking about games. Line.
We talked to random people.
There's shit that I didn't even know about, and then that we didn't know about that you would just hear people talking about. You're like, oh shit, we gotta go over there and get that.
I mean, that's kind of part of the experience. We're all there. We're all excited and shit. So Bethesda's whole thing, going like, come back later or have an appointment, and then you're walking through the area, and it's like you're either buying merch or you're not fucking doing anything in that area.
It's like Fallout 76 shit.
Yeah.
It was just like, it just didn't make any sense to me. I mean, they're hyping Doom Eternal, which I'm sure is going to be good.
I wanted to play it.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it. So yeah, that is my least favorite part of E3, but my second under it would probably be the West Hall that Nintendo was in. Nintendo put on a fucking show. They put a lot of money into their booths, and they were great, and they had awesome games there. Everything around them was
all the indie stuff, weird selling, like
even like lower than indie, because like they had like Geico Gaming, which I don't.
It was a lot of that mobile stuff,
and a lot of mobile shit. They had like indie games, like fucking things that people like students made, which is cool. At the same time, like I wasn't super excited to go check that out. There was large sections of that convention center or the West Hall that were empty, which essentially just served as an extra area for Nintendo lines. Vacant bathrooms, which was the best thing ever. There was no one in those fucking bathrooms. It was great. Because the other bathrooms were fucking ridiculous. And I mean, like, we went over there, and once we knocked Nintendo shit out, we were kind of done, which kind of sucked. I wanted more stuff there. And they had like a tournament going on there for Smash Bros. For a second, and a couple other things. We didn't get a chance to play the new Zelda.
That's right. That line was freaking ridiculous.
Ultimate, it was ridiculous. Like fucking sea of people. And then Ultimate Alliance 3, I wanted to check out. We didn't get a chance for that. But other than that, outside of Nintendo shit, there wasn't much over there that I was interested in. Xseed, which is a Japanese developer, they had a small little section of games I'd never even heard of, so that was kind of interesting, but nothing I was really. There was a lot of like weird like anime puzzle games and like one fighting game that was actually kind of neat. But outside of that, man, like once we're done with Nintendo, it was like kind of like, okay, let's go back to the other hall, or go look for Xbox.
And then as a whole, the entire thing, surprisingly, not a lot of places get merch. Like,
dude, no, okay, that's another good one.
Yeah,
more merch, man. Like fucking, this is a first world fucking problem, but like I set up and saved a bunch of money for this trip for all the necessities, but also like I want to buy some fucking like E3 exclusive merch. I want to go there, see shit I can't get anywhere else, and get that. And we went, and some people had some merch stores. Ubisoft
Microsoft had one you had to wait in the line, but by the time I got in there, it was like fucking destroyed. Like everything was just gone. Everything in my size was bought, and I was just like, eh. But like I was hoping for a Square Enix fucking merchandise place. I would have bought fucking bunch of shit out of there. Cyberpunk stuff, I would have bought fucking shit for that. Nintendo.
Capcom had something, but it was like you ordered it, like you didn't even have any of the
They had like a physical catalog showcase that you're looking at, and you can order stuff. So essentially, it was a glorified advertisement for their online store, and a chance to win Dante's fucking coat, which was kind of cool. I wouldn't wear that though.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to have it.
The coolest merch that they did have there was like the cool ass Cyberpunk jackets that they had that were exclusive.
Yeah,
we jumped into the crew to get it.
As the days went on, we saw more and more people with that fucking Street Samurai jacket with like the half, like almost like Japanese style kabuki mask skull that's on fire, and then it's a reversible jacket that turns yellow when you reverse it.
It's freaking awesome.
It's awesome as fuck. And IGN was like, look at these sweet fucking jackets we got for Cyberpunk. And we see these guys walking all over the place. And at one point I walked up to a dude. I'm like, hey dude, like, where'd you get that jacket? And he's like, yeah, well, when you go to the CD Projekt Red presentation in private, they open up a private store and you can buy it there. He's like, so if you find one of the guys from CD Projekt Red, just ask them. They might sell it to you. And I'm thinking like some fucking random dev's gonna be walking around with a fucking, what are you buying? Like fucking coat full of shit for me to buy. So I was like, okay, we're not getting them. But and when I was on Twitter too, everybody's like, where do we get these? Where do we get these? You don't get them. So you got to order those online, I believe, and I really won't because they're fucking dope as shit.
Really, really cool.
But if I could have bought one there, I would have bought it. But they would have been sold out too because Cyberpunk was the fucking game of the show.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, man, there wasn't. I wish there was. Fucking fill that other hall with the empty area with more merch stores, man. Like I would have loved to buy some shit. But yeah, I mean, overall, that was awesome. Small gripes. And again, this is our first E3, so it was a learning experience, but I feel like we knocked out a lot of the show. We fucking were there from beginning to end, constantly going, tired as fuck, and yeah, I had a blast. So, yeah, anything else you want to say on E3?
No, it was, if you're gonna go and you're gonna get tickets, make sure, know
what you're getting
hardcore.
into. Yeah,
be hard. I mean, it's not for casual people because it's just it's just a lot of waiting.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of it's basically like going to Disneyland and but you're in waiting line to play games.
A demo, yeah. Or hear someone talk about the game.
Yep.
Which for someone like me, I'm like, tell me, I want to relay this to people and shit. So,
and I'm definitely more casual. I mean, I'm a gamer, but I'm definitely more casual about it. Like, joke around a lot of times where I was just being like, well, I can just wait to play. And I'm pretty patient, but still, I'm glad I went. I really am. It's definitely
it was an experience.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to do it for our E3 coverage. Let us know in the comments, what did you think of E3 this year? What do you think the game of E3 was this year? I'm pretty sure you're going to say Cyberpunk. Who was the biggest developer? Who do you think had the best show? I'm hearing Xbox had a good show, Nintendo. Let me know all of your opinions when it comes to E3 2019. What are you hoping to see next year? I think we're going to be seeing the consoles. I think we might see a return of Sony, which would be awesome. I will be there if that's the case. Let me know everything you think about when it comes to that. And that's going to do it for the third vlog and last vlog of our E3 2019. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Talk to me in the comments and join the Discord, blah, blah, blah. Until the next episode, we'll be back on normal schedule coming next week. Until then, have a good weekend, guys. Hope you enjoyed E3 and take it easy.